yourself down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Nicole Anderson.
And I'm Sheldon Christian.
This series will be about purchasing a property in Jamaica, whether it is an investment property or someplace that you would like to spend some time. We will walk you through the process of getting that property. We will take you step by step through the process from the perspective of a Canadian.
Yeah, so the key here is that we're in Toronto, Canada, and so there's a lot of videos about buying a home in Jamaica, but we're going to do it from this perspective of someone who's not in Jamaica, right? So the process looks different than the process is different if you're in Jamaica versus out of the country. So we're in Canada, and we're going to walk you through what you would need step by step. So from A to Z. So this is just one of many videos that we're going to walk you through in regards to what it takes to basically buy a home in Jamaica when you don't live there.
And it is a lengthy process, so strap in. It will require some patience on your part and good relationship with a notary or a lawyer, because you'll be there a lot to get documents notarized. So this part of the series will focus on one of the very important pieces of documents that you will need for almost every document that you fill out throughout this process. And that is the taxpayer registration number, otherwise called the TRN. So this document is on your screen. There will be a website link also on your screen that will take you to this document. You can fill it out on screen and then print it out. If you're not so tech savvy, you can simply print it and then fill it out by hand. So we'll take you through this form. It is pretty self-explanatory, but it will need you to be very attentive to all the fields that are required. The gray areas are mostly filled in by the tax office, and the blue areas are mostly filled in by you. So from the very top, you'll notice that there's a first section that says, is this the first application for a tax registration number for this applicant? And if you've never had one before, then you will want to say yes. Okay, if you've had one before, even if you've lost it and you don't remember what that number is, then you'll want to say no. Okay, it's not your first application for a tax registration number in that case. So Sheldon will take you through the application form.
So I want you to think about this application form as your standard passport application form, right? So the application is really asking you, it's wanted to know everything that's true about you, right? So your first name, last name, date of birth, right? Your sex, male or female, right? Your marital status. And again, really everything that's true about you, right? So spend some time, right? Go through each field sort of line by line and answer the questions truthfully, right? So we're going to skip a few of these sections, right? Because we're not going to, go through it in detail. But again, your country of birth, your nationality, down here, it asks you for your home address, right? Your mail-in address, if that's different. One of the key areas, though, that we want to spend some time on is really the identification piece, right? So a part of filling out this application is there's different types of identification that you can use to send alongside this application. Now, from our perspective, the best identification to use for this application is either your passport, right? Or your driver's license. Now, I think everyone should have a passport. So that's an easy one to just check off, right? And what we also want to do is pay attention to this note here, right? So there's a reason why there's an exclamation mark, because it's basically saying If you basically use, and I'll let Nicole go through this.
Anything other than the passport or the non-Jamaican driver's license, you're going to need to accompany that with a certified copy of your birth certificate. So if you're sending anything that they don't recognize, which is, they recognize the passport, they recognize the Canadian driver's license. But if you're sending anything outside of those two documents, you will not only need to send whatever it is you're sending, but you'll also need to accompany it with a birth certificate. So just keep it simple. Don't make it too complicated because each of these documents you will have to get notarized anyways. So I say use your passport or use your driver's license and fill out each of those sections. So the ID number, the issue date, the expiry date, and the country of issue. Make sure those are completed. And also keep in mind that whatever document that you send, it will have your signature on it. That document signature will have to match the signature on this application form. Yes, I know it seems silly, but because you're outside of the country, this is a part of their due diligence process that we cannot really fight. They just want to make sure it's consistent. So your, again, signature on this application form should be consistent with the signature on the document that that you're sending as ID. Right, so the signature on your passport or your driver's license. They have been known to reject an application form because the signature is different.
So on this section, if we scroll down just a little further to the bottom, after you've key in your identification type and you've key in the information, the document ID and the issue date and so on and so forth. The next important section is really this section right here, right? Because this section talks about basically the tax office that you're going to basically, use to collect your TRN form. So effectively what you're saying is, hey, you basically would select which tax office is, I guess, closer or more convenient for you. And that's where you're going to pick up this document after,
or the person picking it up for you.
Or the person picking it up for you. So, for example, if Maypen is easier to get to, right? Then essentially what you're saying to them is that's where you're going to collect your TRN after the application is submitted, right? Okay.
And this brings us also to, if you're not able to pick this up yourself, then you're able to send alongside this document a letter which authorizes someone else to pick up to drop off your application or pick up your application. And just make sure that whoever's name is on this document is okay to bring their ID along when it's time to pick it up, because they won't release your document, which is your TRN document, to that person without them showing identification.
So again, really important. This document also needs to be notarized. So again, this is just a template. You can really change this to your liking, but this is something that we've used in the past. So the idea is, if you're not the one who's collecting the TRN ID, you need to provide permission for the tax office to give that person your TRN. Okay?
Awesome. All right. So once it's ready, they will notify you that it's ready, and that person can go to the office that was indicated to pick it up. And once it's ready, we will show you what it looks like. Here is the document on screen. We've redacted obviously the personal information, but all right. Okay, so there, we hope that has been helpful. This is just the first step. And in our next, in the next part of our series, we will tell you about your pre-approval and what it will take to get your pre-approval letter, because you will definitely need that before you start hunting for houses. The realtor will ask you for that pre-approval letter.
Yep, absolutely. So until then, see you in the next video.
Thank you. Goodbye.